Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining. How's everyone doing? Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Camila. Sorry. Shout out to Camila. Shout out to Jayla. Shout out to, is it CJ? I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Shout out to London. Shout out to Brooklyn. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Angie. Shout out to Zeke. Shout out to Summers. Shout out to Brian. Shout out to Kennedy. Shout out to is it I Show Speed? Hello everyone, welcome. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Serenity. Shout out to Joshua. Shout out to Jazaria. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Jackson. Shout out to Arzuhan. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Aruzan. Hello everyone, welcome. Shout out to Cooper. Shout out to Skylar. Shout out to Colton. Shout out to Liam. Shout out to Paola. Shout out to Hannah. Shout out to Wemi. Shout out to Sawyer. Shout out to Jesse. Hello everyone. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to Raiden. Shout out to Kato. Shout out to Kamoya. Shout out to Lydia. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Gracie. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Skyla. Shout out to McKenna. Shout out to Kenzo. Shout out to Willow. Shout out to Darwin. Whoopsie, I messed up. Shout out to Raylan. Shout out to Landon. Shout out to Aurora. Shout out to Azur. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Minji. Shout out to Adele. Shout out to Carlani. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Brick. Shout out to Maddie. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Sawyer. Brick, I got you. Shout out to Leon. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Alicia, or Alicia. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Sadika. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Jade. Shout out to Pat. Shout out to Dallas. Shout out to Freya. Shout out to Aloria. Shout out to Julia. Shout out to Brayton. Shout out to Mason. Shout out to Jenny. Shout out to Ethan. Shout out to Leticia, or Letitia. Shout out to Kenzo. Shout out to Gordy. Shout out to Samson. Shout out to Peyton. Shout out to Jenna. Shout out to Nora. Shout out to Rokia. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. I'm gonna write your name again because I messed up right there. Shout out to Layton. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. I live stream every day around the same time as this. Shout out to Kaylee. Shout out to Hayden. Shout out to Journey. Shout out to Sabrina. Thank you for being here. I live stream every day. I hope you can support my channel. I also post other content as well. Shout out to Vincent. Shout out to Kaylee. Shout out to Rihanna. Shout out to Ali. Shout out to Deshay. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Kinsley. Shout out to Bimini. Shout out to Riley. Shout out to John Barnack. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to John Barnack. Shout out to Ryan. Shout out to Jadea. Allie, I got you. Shout out to Marcus. Shout out to Joel, or Joel. Shout out to Harper. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Medina. Shout out to Anna, happy birthday. Shout out to Nyla. Shout out to Emmanuel. Shout out to Jack. Shout out to Steve. Shout out to Maya. Shout out to Athena. Shout out to Hazel. Shout out to Selena. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. I live stream every day around the same time as this. I hope you can also check out my channel. I would truly appreciate it. Also check out my other social medias. I have TikTok and Instagram. I hope you can also subscribe there or follow me there. I would truly appreciate it. I only have like one follow on Instagram. If you have an Instagram, I hope you can follow me there. Shout out to Nora. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Daniela. Shout out to Maya. Shout out to Ariel. Shout out to Jadea. Shout out to Ashish. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Hannah. Shout out to Natalie. Shout out to Jasmine. Shout out to Delaney. Shout out to Fatima. Shout out to Xander. Shout out to Ariel. Shout out to Addie. Shout out to Abdullah. Shout out to Aubrey. Shout out to Cameron. Shout out to Everly. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Chrissy. Shout out to Irene. Shout out to Carlin. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Yasmin. Shout out to Lori Green. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate your support. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Shout out to Lori Green, 7142. Thank you so much for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Julietta. Shout out to Hunter. Shout out to Kingsley. Shout out to Ajane. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Josie. Shout out to Linda. Shout out to Amelia. Shout out to Nana. Shout out to Peyton. Shout out to Jazira. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Izzy. Shout out to Carlani. Shout out to Connor. Shout out to Nevaeh. Shout out to Naomi. Shout out to Grayson. Shout out to Akila. Oops. Shout out to Jack. Shout out to Coda. Shout out to Janelle. Shout out to Carmen. Shout out to Holly. Shout out to Stella. Shout out to Sophia. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Check out my channel and my social media. I'm on TikTok and Instagram as well. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Ethan. Shout out to Annabelle. Shout out to Raheem. Shout out to Skylar. Shout out to Hubert. Shout out to Yunche. Shout out to Destiny. Shout out to Jane. Shout out to Clayton. My day's going well. How about yours? Thank you for asking. Shout out to Alani. Shout out to Phoenix. Shout out to Araya. Shout out to Mila Kirby. Thank you so much, Mila. Shout out to Mila Kirby. Thank you for your support. Shout out to... Thank you, Aubrey. Shout out to Aubrey. Shout out to Amir. Shout out to Megan. Shout out to Mashad. Shout out to Osiris. Shout out to Sula. Shout out to Brooks. Shout out to Ruby. Shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to Nua. Shout out to Rylan. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Grace. Shout out to Zaza. Shout out to Briselda. Shout out to Mariah. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Kendall Moody. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Kendall Moody. Shout out to Alba. Shout out to Karen. Shout out to Lana. Thank you so much, Lana. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Lana T9C9H. Shout out to Juju. Thank you for subscribing. Alex, I got you. Shout out to Julian. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Ashley. Shout out to Zachary. Shout out to Hope. Shout out to Kenny. Shout out to Estefania. Shout out to Zatina. Shout out to Glory. Shout out to Julia. Shout out to Cora. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Abby. I'm so sorry if I haven't gotten to you. Shout out to Jackie. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Boo Boo. Shout out to Andrea. Shout out to Layla. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the live stream. I live stream every day around the same time as this. Please subscribe so you know when I'm gonna go live. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out and support as well. I would truly appreciate it. For example, these are some of the other videos I post. They're tutorials. And also with Valentine's Day coming up, I also do little things like this as well. I do tutorials. I hope you can check out my videos. It would mean a lot to me if you like and share. Thank you so much. I also do this. These types of things. I hope you can check out my channel. But I also live stream every day. Shout out to Kayla. Shout out to Mika or Micah. Shout out to Mandy. Happy early birthday. Shout out to Miana. Shout out to Catside. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Zaylon. Shout out to Salma. Shout out to Melody. Shout out to Phoenix. Shout out to Freya. Shout out to Victor. Shout out to Coda. Shout out to Alexis. Shout out to Ethan. Shout out to Augustina. Shout out to Amina. Shout out to Alexa. Shout out to Clarabelle. Shout out to Luna. Shout out to Ciandra. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Tatum. Shout out to Isaac. Shout out to Javelin. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Genesis. Shout out to Alonso. Shout out to Faith. Shout out to Fernanda. Shout out to Jose. Shout out to Suri. Shout out to Kimberly. Shout out to Lala. Shout out to Ishel. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to, is it Luvoik? I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name. Thank you so much for your support. Shout out to Luvoik. Shout out to Avery. Shout out to Ruby. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Aileen. Shout out to Brecklin. Shout out to Lorena. Shout out to Tiana. Shout out to Joseph. Shout out to Lupita. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Thomas. Shout out to Ayana. Shout out to Johnny. Shout out to Megan. Shout out to Mila Kirby. Thank you so much, Mila. Shout out to Mila Kirby. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Kaylin. Shout out to TJ. Shout out to Hunter. I'm so sorry if I haven't gotten to you. Thank you for your patience. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Amia. Shout out to Nugget. Shout out to Carlos. Shout out to April. Excuse me. Shout out to King. Shout out to Yunche. Shout out to Elliot. Shout out to Charlie. Shout out to Azzy. Shout out to Astro. Thank you for subscribing. I'm gonna write it again because I messed up. There we go. Shout out to Martinez. Shout out to Shelly. Shout out to Everly. Shout out to Emma. Shout out to Rose. Shout out to Shifa. Shout out to Asil. Shout out to Lala. Shout out to Aisha. Shout out to Parker. Shout out to Remy. Shout out to Brianna. Shout out to Bellamy. Shout out to V. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Emmanuel. Shout out to Priyal. Shout out to Mateo. Shout out to Kyra. Thank you for subscribing. Or Kira. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Bianca. Shout out to Helen. Shout out to Ramani. Or Armani. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Liana. Shout out to Sharonda. Shout out to Cash. Shout out to Maddie. Shout out to Ari. Whoops. Shout out to Hazel. Shout out to Elizabeth. Shout out to Tristan. Shout out to Derry Yellen. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Easton. Shout out to Ziad. Shout out to Judah. Shout out to Gilly. Shout out to Naya. Shout out to Yvette. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to, thank you so much, Esme. Thank you, I truly appreciate it. Shout out to, let me write it again, S-E-M. Shout out to MFNE. Thank you so much. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time to write your name. And thank you for your patience, because I know I haven't gotten to everyone. So I appreciate you taking the time to write your name out. I know I don't write super fast. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Links. Shout out to Hayami. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Cadence. Shout out to Priya. Shout out to Nicole. Shout out to Layla. Shout out to Sohail Ahmed. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Aaliyah. Shout out to Maylin. Oh no, how do you spell Maylin? Whoops, I messed up. There we go. Shout out to Maylin. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Luisana. Shout out to German. Shout out to Kaya. Or Kaya. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Kinsley. Shout out to Syra. Shout out to Simon. Shout out to Moon. Shout out to Bria. Shout out to Elaine. Shout out to Ceci. Shout out to Calvin. Shout out to Liana. Shout out to Penny. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Asher. Shout out to Damien. Shout out to Annabeth. Shout out to Tucker. Shout out to Love. Shout out to Dyra or Dara. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Cadence. Shout out to Caitley. Shout out to Marley. Shout out to Shelby. Shout out to Anna. Shout out to JJ. Shout out to Ramsey. Shout out to Malia. Shout out to Julian. Shout out to Christine. Shout out to Harley. Shout out to Jaden. Shout out to Marcus. Shout out to Martinez. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Saleya. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Malia. Shout out to Polly. Shout out to, is it Marley? Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Renesmee. Shout out to Yalda. Shout out to Nimrat. Shout out to Max. Shout out to Tommy. Shout out to Yana. Shout out to Ahmed. Shout out to Pavi. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Lorraine. Shout out to Aaliyah. Or Alea. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Emily. Shout out to Joy. Shout out to Nadine. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Winter. Shout out to Axel. Shout out to Owen. Shout out to Benny. Shout out to Nova. Shout out to Ariani. Shout out to Sophie. Shout out to Kendra. Shout out to Lauren. Shout out to Alice. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Alice. Shout out to Alexa. Shout out to Maximus. Shout out to Tori. Shout out to Georgia. Shout out to Draven. Shout out to Michelle. Shout out to Ariel. Shout out to Reina. Shout out to Max. Shout out to Maya. Shout out to Noor. Shout out to Irina. Shout out to Rose. Shout out to Anna. Shout out to Elliot. Shout out to Yasmin. Shout out to Kason. Shout out to Stitch. Shout out to Cash. Shout out to Cheyenne. Shout out to Kashmir. Shout out to Nilam. Shout out to Finley. Shout out to Kay. Shout out to these people. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Also, please check out my channel. I post tutorials like these. So this would be for like Valentine's Day. I post tutorials like these. I hope you can check it out and support my channel. I would truly appreciate it. I'm also on TikTok and on Instagram. I hope you can follow me there as well. I also do these kind as well. I hope you can support my channel. I would truly appreciate it. And this one too. Okay, on to the next page. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the live stream. I do shout outs every day around the same time as this. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate your support, and I truly appreciate you taking the time to write your name. Thank you, thank you. It means a lot to me that you're here supporting a small channel like mine. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Victoria G. Thank you so much, Victoria. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Victoria G. Shout out to Abby. Shout out to Avi. Shout out to Kendall. Shout out to Andy. Thank you for subscribing. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Sienna. Shout out to Beck. Shout out to Lena. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Maria. Elena. Shout out to German. Shout out to Dawn. Shout out to Gracie. Shout out to Darian. Shout out to Dev. Shout out to Mallory. Shout out to Marcus. Shout out to Kenzie. Shout out to Freya. Sky. Shout out to Dima. Shout out to Erica. Shout out to Michelle. Shout out to Anthony. Shout out to Jessica. Whoops. Shout out to Jessica. Shout out to Abby. Shout out to Jaslyn. Shout out to Neela. Shout out to Isla. Shout out to Isao. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Zev. What was it? Zev 205. Shout out to Damaris. Shout out to Empress. Shout out to Delaney. Shout out to Bianca. Shout out to Maylene. Shout out to Jace. Shout out to Julius. Shout out to Jessica. Shout out to Lake. Shout out to Lake. Shout out to Vivian. Shout out to Ashley. Shout out to Anastasia. Shout out to Barbara. Shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to Natalie. Shout out to Jaden. Shout out to Juan. Shout out to Maverick. Shout out to Samantha. Shout out to Carter. Shout out to Jammer the One. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Jammer the One. Shout out to Kaden. Shout out to Skylar. Thank you so much for your support. Shout out to Charlie. Shout out to Lexi. Shout out to Juan. Shout out to Izzy. Shout out to Haley. Shout out to Yami. Shout out to Caroline. Shout out to Isabella. Shout out to Siraj. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Alina. Shout out to Finn. Shout out to Dylan. Shout out to Belle. Shout out to Hopper. Shout out to John. Shout out to Annabeth. Shout out to Diana. Shout out to Key. Shout out to Zaylin. Shout out to Cecia. Shout out to Tommy. Shout out to Jacob. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Nora. Shout out to Key. Shout out to Briella. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Henry. Shout out to Shaki. Shout out to Genesis. Shout out to Krista. Yes, I can answer questions as long if it's too personal, I won't answer them. But if you ask like other questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Shout out to Jacob. Shout out to Carlos. Shout out to Courtney. Shout out to Leah. Shout out to Libby. Shout out to Sienna. Shout out to Jaden. Shout out to Jaden. Shout out to Nixon. My favorite color is pink. Shout out to Holly. Shout out to Jennifer. Shout out to Robert. Shout out to Ruby. Shout out to Zin. Shout out to Cody. Shout out to Crystal. Shout out to Pop-Tart. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being here. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Amina. Thank you for your patience. I know it gets kind of difficult to keep up with the chat. Shout out to Cassidy. So I'm so sorry if I haven't reached your name. Shout out to Sky. Shout out to Natalie. Shout out to Leon. Shout out to Adley. Shout out to Lamaya or Lamia. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Hasiel. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Michelle. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Rebecca. Shout out to Tracy. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Jeonjin. Shout out to Bash. Shout out to Ravi. Shout out to Holly. Shout out to Eileen. Shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Ellie. Shout out to Jonathan. Shout out to Genesis. Shout out to Coco. Shout out to Stella. Shout out to Yarixa. Shout out to Kath. Shout out to Yoonjin. Shout out to Vera. Shout out to Jordan. Shout out to Jessa. Shout out to Diana. Shout out to baby Saj. Shout out to Michaela. Shout out to Ellen. Shout out to Grace. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Kathy. Shout out to Lindura. Shout out to Everest. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Laura. Shout out to Braylon. Shout out to Jaden. Shout out to Nadia. Shout out Lindora, I got you. Shout out to Vera, I got you. Where's Vera? Right here. Shout out to Nadia, I got you. Shout out to Lesio. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Daniela, thank you so much. Shout out to Eliza or Elisa. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Jason. Shout out to Mystery. Shout out to Lynette. Shout out to Mallory. Shout out to Avi or Ivy. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Yurixa. Shout out to Lino. Shout out to Bang Chan. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Alea. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Marcos. Shout out to Ella. Shout out to Maximus. Shout out to Millie. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Dr. Eggman. Shout out to Leia. Shout out to Jacoby. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Changbin. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Nazarena. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Lakeisha. Shout out to Han. Shout out to Kino. Shout out to Felix. Shout out to Brayley. Shout out to Annabelle. Shout out to Lance. Shout out to Pernell. Shout out to Vera. Shout out to Clayton. Shout out to Marcus. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Naomi. Shout out to Yarixa, I got you. Shout out to Jean Jin. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Mickey. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Soon Min. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Amiron. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Mickey, I got you. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Annie. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. Excuse me. Shout out to Diego. Shout out to Vera, I got you. Shout out to Savannah. Shout out to Karina. Shout out to Jenny Do. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Jenny Do. Thank you for your support. Shout out to, is it Mitchell? Mitchell Esquivel. Esquivel. Thank you so much. Shout out to Mitchell Esquivel. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Esmeralda. Shout out to Cassie. Shout out to Mitchell Esquivel. Thank you so much. Esquivel, sorry. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Jenny Do. Thank you so much. Shout out to Damari. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Jackson. Shout out to Donna or Dana. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Kendi. Shout out to Rosalie. Shout out to Eli. Thank you, Cassie. Shout out to Corbin. Shout out to these people. Thank you so much for being here. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out. Like I said before, I do little tutorials like these. I hope you can check them out. I would truly appreciate it. I do other little characters. I also do Sonic, Super Mario, Hello Kitty. So I hope you can check out my channel and leave likes. It truly helps me out. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you taking the time to be here. Thank you, thank you. Take care. I will see you all next time.